recent editorial, we expressed our displeasure over CBS's plans for the fall season involving a lack of comedy. Here now with an opposing and/or lateral view is Yarnel Mois, founder and creator of Studio 3 TV.
There's a difference between a cancellation and a signal. And what just happened to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert feels a lot more like the latter. July 13th. Stephen Colbert goes on air and calls out the uncomfortable reality. Paramount Global navigating a settlement tied to 60 Minutes and Kamala Harris, all while trying to make itself attractive for a potential sale to Skydance Media, led by David Ellison. July 17th. CBS cancels the show. Now let's not insult anyone's intelligence. Yes, the official line is that late night is bleeding money. That's real. The model is expensive, the audience is fragmented, and the returns don't justify the cost anymore. We're not in the Tonight Show glory days where one desk, one host, and one time slot could dominate culture. But timing matters, because when critique of corporate behavior is followed almost immediately by a corporate decision that silences the platform it aired on, it stops feeling like pure economics and starts feeling like alignment. Not censorship in the dramatic sense, but calibration. And that's where this becomes bigger than Colbert. Because late night used to operate with a certain level of protection. It could mock the system while being funded by it. That tension was the whole point. It was why it worked. Now, that tension is gone. Everything is tied to valuation, mergers, and shareholder confidence. And when those things are in play, there's less tolerance for unpredictability, even if that unpredictability is the very thing that made the format valuable. By April, CBS isn't even pretending to replace the format. They're handing 11:35 to a time-buy arrangement featuring Byron Allen's syndicated shows. And here's where it gets even more telling. One of those shows, Comics Unleashed, is built to be evergreen. No topical commentary, no nightly reaction, no risk of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time because it doesn't say anything about the moment at all. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. Evergreen content is efficient. It's cost-effective. It's safe. It reruns forever and asks very little in return. But let's call it what it is. It's the opposite of what late night was designed to do. Late night, at its best, responds. It reacts. It challenges. Whether you agree with the voice or not, it exists in the moment. And once you remove that, you're not replacing the format, you're removing the function. Because by that same logic, you could take Gutfeld off Fox News tomorrow, drop in a documentary block and say, well, it's cheaper and evergreen. Technically true. But the audience wouldn't just shrug and move on. They'd react. Because you didn't just swap a show. You removed a voice. That's the part executives keep trying to spreadsheet away. And it doesn't matter if that voice leans left, right, or somewhere in between. Once the system decides that voices are too expensive, too unpredictable, or too inconvenient, they become expendable. So was this financial? Yes. Was it political? Whether intentional or not, also yes. But more than anything, it was structural. Because once the business model stops supporting the voice doesn't get to stay. And what replaces it may be cheaper. It may even be sustainable. But it will never do the same job. And that's the quiet shift happening here. Not just the end of The Late Show, but the slow replacement of voices with content that doesn't talk back.
Telehell welcomes opposing viewpoints to our editorials when and where time permits. As a reminder, if you wish to respond to us in an audio form, please send an MP3 or M4A sound clip to telehellpodcast@gmail.com. This has been a Telehell editorial reply.